These people haven't washed their hair for weeks, months, and sometimes years. Now, with the right techniques, some results are better than others, but if you decided to stop washing your hair forever, what could happen to you? Could this be good for your hair? How could this lead to a skin infection? And how long could you go before things got really nasty? This is What If, and here's what would happen if you never washed your hair. Believe it or not, there can be some benefits to not washing your hair. Depending on your lifestyle and hair type, you can have a healthier scalp and locks. So, if you want to go for a couple of days without washing, go for it. Just make sure you're comfortable and that it doesn't smell. But what would happen if you didn't wash your hair for a couple of weeks? If you're the kind of person who doesn't sweat a lot and doesn't have oily hair, this might be a good thing for you. Some say your hair could become thicker and more voluminous after several weeks of not washing it. But if you kept this going for a couple of months, well, that might be a different story. You might be saving some time and money on this no shampoo plan, but you'll also be gaining some funky smells. That's because your hair is trapping moisture, allowing bacteria to build up on your unwashed scalp. This is due to the thick layer of sebum being produced on your scalp. Usually, this stuff is good as it's natural oil that keeps your hair moisturized and healthy. But too much of it is some seriously bad news. This thick layer of oil would give you a funky, moldy smell after months' worth of dirt and bacteria get attached to your scalp. You might also have to get acquainted with some oil-loving fungus that could leave you with some nasty skin conditions. And if that weren't enough, you'd have a tough time touching your scalp after just a couple of months. It would be way too sensitive and painful. So say goodbye to ponytails. And as you're closing in on a year of this awful journey, the dirt would continue to build up. You'd be smellier and dirtier than ever as your scalp and hair follicles would be clogged with tons of dried up oil, bacteria, dirt, and possible fungal diseases. Luckily, you probably wouldn't have to pay for a haircut. Since your follicles are so clogged, your hair would stop growing. And if you stopped brushing, you'd likely have a messy clump of smelly hair attached to your head. This would be incredibly uncomfortable, painful, and would probably have you losing friends due to the smell. As you kept going past 1 year, there's a good chance you could lose all your hair entirely due to the bacteria on your scalp. Eventually, you'd be left with no hair at all, with a damaged and itchy scalp that's bound to have some serious skin infections. So, although it might take a couple of extra minutes in the shower, you should definitely be washing your hair. Now, everyone's hair is different. Depending on your hair type and proper care, you could go for days or weeks without shampoo. Sometimes it can be beneficial. Just go with what feels right for you. If it smells and feels dirty after a day, wash it. If it feels clean after a week, don't worry about it. You know, there are other things you should be washing every day though, and those are your teeth. What would happen if you stopped brushing your teeth? Well, that's a story for another What If.